That's the fucking shit we're dealing with, people. That's why all the games are over. Because the fucking gloves are coming off.
Take her fucking out. Take her to somewhere that's good. Go see fucking Madonna, you fucking idiot piece of shit.
Fuck you. Kill your fucking selves, you fucking globalists. Go ahead.
It's fucking hard.
Get away from me, racist!
Bill Hicks, possibly considered one of the most influential comedians of all times, deceased from pancreatic cancer at the young age of 32. 2 years later, Alex Jones comes on the same cable affiliate from Austin, Texas that Bill Hicks was reporting on the Waco, Texas incident just prior to his passing, does his first report on the Waco, Texas, and becomes the most influential, at least in terms of the audience, anti-globalist alternative radio talk show host the world has ever seen. Could these two people be the same person? Stay tuned to find out why. Hi, this is Felipe Osorio and welcome to Second Earth Alternative. So oftentimes when dealing with conspiracy theories, there are a few that you just kind of ignore. It's just too stupid, too far-fetched, or possibly destructive to the credibility of the entire field of alternative news. Now, I thought this conspiracy was actually one of those. I really believe this was just a far-fetched, just nothing theory. And honestly, the more I did research, the more I started feeling like I was in some kind of Matrix movie where my entire existential existence was like melting away piece by piece. Could everything I have ever heard that was inspired by Alex Jones be a simple theatrical herding of the conspiracy nuts? Are we being played by bigger forces that wanted Alex Jones to be exactly where he is, exactly doing what he is doing with his ratings, and us listening to what he has to say, including our very president? If Alex Jones wasn't so influential in terms of getting meet and greets and tweets from President Trump, well, perhaps I wouldn't be so taken back by this conspiracy. But as you can see, this has world political defining implications. Now, if you didn't know, on March 4, 2017, Vice.com, famous for the HBO hit show Vice News, they published an article called Digging Deep into the Only Conspiracy Alex Jones Doesn't Like. Their end conclusion? Overall, the theory is, for a lack of better terms, banana pants, crazy town, and Jones is right. The notion that Hicks never truly died is disrespectful to the late great Hicks and his family, and it's good that Jones can actually see that. So, given their conclusion, I wanted to clarify that to even contemplate that Bill Hicks has died is somewhat disrespectful to the family. And let's also be aware that there are family members that are still to this day expressing their grief for the departing of the Bill, including his mother, Mary Hicks, who has even made an appearance on the David Letterman show. Having said that, why are people so convinced that the two may be the same person? Well, let's just run through a few coincidences. The most obvious is that Bill Hicks looks alike and seemingly has similar teeth to Alex Jones. As you can see, they both have similar sized teeth and similar gaps, though this is as far as I'm gonna go. I don't want to get too deep into this forensic analysis because in truth, this can be somewhat limiting when you have nothing but grainy pictures and possibly different angles that you can't know exactly where the angles are coming from. So yeah, what I can say is they have similar teeth. They have similar mannerisms.
Checkpoint, it's routine. We use the word routine.
And sometimes overall similar disposition, especially when they're angry.
Mao Zedong killed 50 million people!
Bill Hicks and Alex Jones are known for their anti-corporate political rants. One is a comedian, while the other is just comedic in how serious he takes himself at times. Alex Jones first arrived on the public circuit a couple years after Bill Hicks died, meaning they never really worked together. Alex Jones' first appearance started doing a Waco, Texas report with a man named Kevin Booth. Bill Hicks ended his last report doing a story on Waco, Texas with none other than the same person, Kevin Booth. And here's where this conspiracy really starts picking up. If you're wondering who Kevin Booth is, well, he's Alexis Jones' manager and personal friend, as well as previous manager and personal friends of Bill Hicks.
We know today that we haven't known before.
We'll see about that, Billy.
Well, let's see about it.
Got a break. Me and Kevin are old friends. This is not good here on air.
Say what? Yes. Sacred Cow Productions has both clients Alex Jones and Bill Hicks in what is a very short roster, and at the same time, never officially the two having worked in the same timeline with one another. Is there more? If you can believe it, yes. By mere accident, I also discovered that they smoke cigarettes the exact same way. I mean, take a look. They often have the same usage of language choice. Why don't we listen in real quick?
Fuck you. Fuck you, you idiot. You're everything that America should be flushed down the toilet, you fucking
Homeless
turd.
guy to shit in a cup and put it in a fucking bottle? You fucking asshole.
Rain 40 days, please. Fucking rain to wash these turds off my fucking line.
A devil! Because I've got power! I love Satan! And I'm gonna suck you dry and I'm gonna torture you to
I
death!
want you to go find a fucking soul.
These people are the biggest cucks on the planet.
Whining maggots.
You baby harvesting demon maggots!
Alex Jones argued in a custody court case that he had with his ex-wife that his persona, Alex Jones, is just a theatrical act. Here.
Attention to, of all things, a child custody battle playing itself out in an Austin, Texas courtroom. Jones, through his lawyer, is trying to say, well, that's not me. His own lawyer has said that to hold Alex Jones accountable for the InfoWars Alex Jones, the man of Pizzagate fame, would be akin to holding Jack Nicholson accountable for his portrayal of the Joker in the Batman movie.
Bill Hicks died of a very rare pancreatic cancer with seemingly little to no chemotherapy hospital visits prior to attempt to pacify the condition. Now, in Bill Hicks' own bio, he says he and Booth had the same imaginative capacity, and for years they had worked together on music, film, and comedy. So comedy wasn't their only endeavor. In fact, in Sacred Cow's now existing website, Kevin Booth himself stated,
Alex used to sit in front of a star map, and I had a hard time putting my finger on exactly what it was that Alex was talking about. I remember the very last time Bill Hicks came to Austin Access, spring of '93, we were working on a script called Public Access, about a Rush Limbaugh type character who angers a viewer, and the viewer came to the station and killed the host on the air.
Now, you may have seen that last quote on other videos introducing the same conspiracy theory that we're talking about, but I doubt you have seen this one, simply because it was written in reference to the departed anti-globalist documentarian Aaron Russo. Let's listen in.
And something I read in your book triggered me directly to write this letter. After Bill died, Colleen McGarr went to a psychic who told her that the final chapter of Bill's life hadn't been written yet. Could this final chapter be the real truth about his death?
So Kevin Booth published a letter from Croatia referencing his own book while saying that the girlfriend of supposedly now departed Bill Hicks, who saw psychic afterwards, had told her that the final chapter of Bill's life hadn't been written yet? Of all the letters to publish, doesn't it seem a little fishy that this is the one Kevin would choose to showcase in his website? Now, on the other hand, to have accomplished this fake death, a myriad of complications had to be solved. The biggest one is convincing family members that one is dead. I mean, this seems to be the trickiest, given that the mother of Bill Hicks herself has already appeared on the Dave Letterman show expressing her grief.
I love to this day talking about Bill. You know, I'm proud of what he did and amazed at what he did. Because again, to me, he was just always my little brother.
He would have to get some kind of cosmetic surgery, possibly facelift, mole remover, maybe even a nose job. And I guess in 2 years, this is somewhat possible. And I admit that there are certain mannerisms that they do transfer. But then consider this. Has Alex Jones ever slipped in his character? Though I have seen clips of Bill Hicks that that at times can sound like Alex Jones, I have yet to see Alex Jones slip up and sound exactly like the Bill Hicks we remember. So to close the deal on this case, I decided to do something I hadn't seen anyone else try yet. To irrefutably prove that Alex Jones indeed is a different person, I decided to scour the internet for signatures, handwritten notes, just anything that possibly either person could have forged the signatures or writing into. And the idea is that this is a subconscious act that can be extremely difficult to fake. So I finally did find a few handwritten notes, thinking I had finally found the evidence to prove that their separate identities were indeed separate. I'm sorry to say this, but that was not the case. I was once again floored by this coincidence that both men have a very unique, somewhat slanted mixture of cursive and print, almost identical to one another. So then I decided to take the few words in one of Bill's last notes before his departing, and I decided to compare with Alex Jones' signature. And this is what we got. If you notice, there are also similarities with the A and the S as well. Shit, I feel like I just dug myself even deeper in this conspiracy hole. So there's purported evidence of Alex Jones' past in a yearbook picture from his high school. Many conspiracy theorists believe that this is a fake. They claim that a bent page wouldn't be so perpendicular. However, being a photo studio manager, my opinion is that the evidence could indeed actually be legitimate. Upon closer examination, Alex Jones' picture in his high school does have a differentiation in the length from one side to the other, the bent side being a little bit longer, which actually makes sense when you consider how perspective works. And then check out this line. Look how it blurs with the bent page. Now, from my personal opinion, I think this is actually very hard to fake. So to me, that indicates that this could possibly be a real picture of Alex Jones. But what really gets me is this question. Of 8 billion people on this planet, how is it that Alex Jones becomes a single lone wolf trailblazer for alternative anti-NWO news while Bill Hicks is regarded as one of the most influential stand-up comedians of all times? Often injecting a non-globalist perspective similar to Alex's and perhaps Kevin Booth himself.
By the way, this is a very serious film, American Drug War 2. That's something Kevin made with Bill Hicks back before Bill Hicks was even known as a comedian, obviously an icon of comedy.
And that's when it hit me. So given that Kevin Booth had somehow discovered both Alex Jones and Bill Hicks from the same exact town, only 3 years apart, and both were this huge, with this many similarities, well, this leaves me with only two conclusions. Either Alex Jones is Bill Hicks in some hair-raising, world-defining prank that includes plastic surgery, tricking the mother and other family members, or Kevin Booth is a genius. Plain and simple. Someone who could raise true superstars with his management skills from different sectors of the entertainment business. Someone so inventive that to say that Bill Hicks and Alex Jones is the same person becomes inherently flawed in logic because Kevin Booth's capabilities are beyond the single presence of either person. Because in the end, as a product of their professions, manager, entertainer, their similarities could simply be a result of Kevin Booth's taste in his clients.
The only way I'd say it publicly is if I write it. And I've been writing this book for years, and it's in the book.
Really?
So I'd tell you off grid, but I can't. It's look. I know Alex Jones sat in this seat, you know, right? I know you've been on InfoWars. I've been on, you know, there's a
Have
whole.
you been on InfoWars
Oh yeah,
too?
I think 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
What have you been on InfoWars for?
Mostly talking about free speech.
You see, the Kevin Booth connection, the fact that Kevin Booth is both manager of Alex Jones and Bill Hicks, is ultimately not proof that each client is the same. Rather, it's the catalyst for the correlations that we so eagerly believe to be conspiracy. You see, he is the X factor, the attractive force that makes the two so similar, because he chose them. Their similarities is a product of Kevin Booth's preference, not irrefutable proof that one client is the same as another. So yeah, this conspiracy theory was a tough one. A lot of ideas to consider, and there are still very strange, inexplicable coincidences.
I love that. I love that.
However, my opinion and what I see is that I see a genius with 2 clients who share similar traits because that was simply the preference of the genius himself, that being Kevin Booth. Now, if you think otherwise, I would love to hear your ideas. Please comment below. I decided to do a report on this because, you know, as many of you know, Alex Jones has quickly risen himself to be one of the most influential talk show hosts in the world. Well, at least when talking about influence, numbers, and audience. So his story, who he is, his manager, and essentially the similarity that Bill Hicks was also a very influential comedian, well, that's kind of important. Kevin Booth is somebody to be studied. And I want to quickly finish off this episode with a new envelope for all the dedicated viewers to attempt to remote view what may be underneath. Now, for those who are new to this segment of the episode, the goal is to use techniques related to remote viewing to attempt to perceive what is underneath this envelope. Now, this is there are targeted numbers here, which are written both on the envelope and the picture itself. So yeah, just give me your best guesses. Just make sure that you write RV and then go ahead and pick your guesses. I will make sure that the winner gets featured in my next episode. And yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me. This is Felipe Osorio, signing out.
There you go. So you agree with it. There you go. What about putting a wig on Mike Tyson and letting him get in the women's boxing league?
If I could bet on it, sure.
So that might actually be the way he could come back.
Yeah.
Exhibition fights, Mike Tyson versus women. You'd have to muzzle him though, because he might bite him. But that's okay. Women get the same rights as Evander Holyfield now. Why don't we put them both in wigs? Say they're both transgender.
Oh man. That's funny.
Is that what American Drug Wars are really about?
Yeah, you got it, man. You always throw me for a loop. I'm always ready to come on here, and I'm never ready. It's funny.
When the women take enough of those hormones, they actually grow an appendage?
Okay, so I'm not allowed to talk about it, but you can talk about it. I did not know about this appendage, Alex. Tell me about the appendage.
I'm not going to do it. No, I'm just giving medical facts here on air, buddy. All right, let's reset, go to break. Me and Kevin are old friends. This is not good here on air.